you. You know Ty.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about you last night. He was telling me how he met you over here in Sedona.
Oh,
Yeah, he was trying to
yeah.
figure. We were trying. He was trying to figure out how long you've been in Shasta because
Right.
he
Yeah.
thought you'd only been there maybe a couple of years. I said no. I ran into her in 2019 over there. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. Total of being here is about 15 years. And between the time I moved to Sedona and I moved to Hawaii, but
Oh,
came back,
okay.
so the total is, yeah, 15 years.
Wow, wow.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me okay today?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you real good. Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, he was
Mm-hmm.
telling me how you used to have your work was up, in one of the shops over here in Sedona. I guess that's where y'all met.
Yeah. I had a little gallery,
Oh yeah,
not on the main street. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
cool. Yeah,
Just for 1 year.
yeah. You look
Yeah.
great. You look fantastic.
Oh,
A lot,
thank you.
a lot of people have been talking about they've been doing me. I did 3 days of purging last night. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have any, but a lot of people are talking about physical purging, and going through a lot of that stuff. Have you been going through any of that?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
You have.
I'll show one drawing that totally represents because it's like, well, it's a phoenix rising, but it's almost like this time we're like,
Wow. Here, let me put this on here. Hang on. Here. Oh yeah. Is this new?
no. So every time you look at it, we change and shift, energetically. So
Oh, I
it looks
see.
new every time we see things, but I feel like this is really what's happening for me, especially, I mean, for everyone. It's like not only purging, but also purging and expanding at the same time. Expanding and rising like phoenix at the same time. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That
Hmm.
makes sense to me. You were actually purging and expanding at the same time. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's just that you used to be more of that. There was a space between purging and expansion, but feels like it's like really really short. Like purge, okay, expand. It's like really happening almost at the same time. So I feel like that intensity, that we are feeling, whoever is choosing to do.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
it seems like every day fewer and fewer people, if anybody, is being left out of all this, you know?
Yeah, I feel that way. Hmm. It's a deep breathing time,
Yeah.
and it's quite a big shift.
It
One
is.
of the climax of the year, for sure.
We're still in the middle of it, though. We're in the middle of this eclipse
Yeah.
corridor.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to
Yeah.
have 11/11, and
Mm-hmm.
God knows what else. You know, all these, for the last, 3 years, all the dates that have ones and twos have been power dates. And we're going to have a lot of those because the months are going to be, well, it's October, November, and December. They're all have ones and twos in the month. And then any days during the month, like one, the first, the second, the 10th, 11th, 12th, the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, those are all going to be power days,
Mm.
not to
Well,
mention the rest of them.
that makes us, uh, remind us how powerful we are,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Mm-hmm.
So
But yeah,
what's the energetic climate in Shasta? Because I know you're very connected to the mountain.
well, mountain is very solid.
Yeah,
It's getting more and more solid. Less distraction. So, but town itself is purging a lot. The other day, one of the local lady who'd been living here for a long time, she came to my gallery in such a humble way, and she said, "I am having a hard time for the first time ever since I moved to Mount Shasta." And
mm,
she's an old lady, you know, and she came up to me like that, like, "Wow, okay, if she's getting that, then everybody's getting that in town, of course." And of course for me too, there's so much shift that is happening. I mean, we are expanding and changing all the time. So, I'm ending my relationship. I'm looking for a new place to live. I had I have to remove all my teeth on the bottom because I'm losing it from my severe health issue, and I have to go to the dentist, and like they're like saying, "Oh, okay, $7,000." I'm like, "Okay."
No, okay. Then
Yeah,
that's
and just like hit the bottom, but then you have to really change the perspective really fast, unless you just like have this gloomy day all day long, and
right.
I had that for a couple of hours, but wait a minute, you know what? Well, it means that I have a capability to pay that, and also I don't need to brush the teeth on the bottom. you
Yeah, I don't have to do that anymore.
some perspective that you can bring, and because we are really focusing on this center
Yeah.
to maintain our strength and the light within, and so just walking with awareness more and more, and whatever comes to us, it's getting more bigger and bigger too, in a way, because it's like climaxing in until we really create this oneness or something, harmony. And until then, everything is going to accelerate. So, whatever that comes to us is like, what? I did not expect that.
Yeah.
And then, next moment, something wonderful happens, like
Right.
Todd contacted me, like, yay.
Well, and I was just talking about that on the last show. How,
Yeah, I'm listening to them actually. It was so
yeah,
much
they're hilarious, aren't they?
all of both of the ladies so amazing in different characters, and I'm more like in the Ashley side. I'm so Japanese, and we learned how to be more quiet and humble.
Hmm.
Even though we have the wisdom, we don't really speak out or show it. We are more like quietly show it. That was the beauty of it. And then Huang is like, wow, I admire that because I still feel like I'm holding back too. And, she would say that to me probably. I've never met her. But
Hmm.
if he sees me, it's like, you're holding back.
I don't know. Are you holding back? You. Are you? I mean, you do videos, and you don't really. You have a soft nature about you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But I was talking to Ashley about how I knew that I'm kind of being cleaned out right now. Like things are being like you. I mean, I left my home. Uh, it's just one thing after another, and I had a I didn't have a dentist $7,000 dentist bill, but I had attorney bills and car bills, and all of a
Right.
sudden I didn't have any. I'm just barely making it, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not worried about it. I haven't been worried about it the whole time, and I know I'm not supposed to. And I think it has something to do with what you're talking about. Is having the right perspective and actually embodying the multidimensional perspective within the human body, and
Mm-hmm.
not living and dying by what the human thinks it needs, but by
Mm-hmm.
actually seeing it from the soul's eyes and
Mm-hmm.
understanding that something really expansive and positive is happening, even though from the linear standpoint or the human standpoint, it looks like everything's falling apart.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it gives us the time and opportunity to re-evaluate our value,
Right.
you know. And then, for me, it was like a lot of fear came up again, deep fear, like, uh, how do I say? Yeah, it's about value and not being recognized or not being loved or not being valued
Mm-hmm.
or deserted because, uh, like there's one point, in the life that you were so uh, not loved and deserted, by people or parents, and that whole memory came up and totally froze my body.
Mm.
And looking around the condition of, for example, looking for the housing and stuff, it's like people are so much in fear that raising the rent for like high skyride, skyscraper,
Yeah.
and and even though they have a space, they don't want to share. All that fear is there, and you've got to beat that odds. You've got to be the, you've got to beat it.
Right.
By
Right.
bringing up the consciousness of my truth, and not sucked into that, the field of consciousness, and it's gonna be fine. I'll find it. And I
Yeah.
think I found one yesterday, and there's this old man was the landlord, and I talked to him, and so where's the application form and stuff, and he's like, oh, we're just gonna sign the paper. you
Oh,
know
so you found a place.
yeah, yesterday I think so. And
Wow.
he liked me, and but the way we do, we have to do all this reference and credit score and bank account, and all the application form, things. He didn't need it. It's like, I trust you,
Right.
and
Right.
we're just gonna sign the paper. And I'm like,
Which
wow, thank goodness, this is my world.
which goes back to value,
Right.
and like unraveling, untangling this perception we had of, let's say, people not valuing us, but the reality is it's we're the one that carry our value. Like this gentleman here, Alan, just says, "I value you, genuineness, honesty." Right. So your frequency of your own value must have uh, impressed that landlord that he didn't need anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it really has nothing to do with anyone else.
No, and no fear construct. We're
Mm-hmm.
skipping that, and so I'm so grateful.
Wow.
But the teeth, gotta go through the underdeveloped technology on the earth. So it's like, come on, Arcturian, come down and just teach us how to implant all this. How, what is it called? The cell, the original cell.
Oh, stem cells. Yeah.
Stem cells. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not there yet. So it's like, for me, teeth is really about, for me, teeth is truth.
Mm.
And I lied myself, I lied about myself for so many years, and I still have a little, physical condition that, I need to balance. And so, losing all the teeth is like, I'm counting all the truth that I have compromised in the past. And
Wow.
so, deep forgiveness for myself for doing all of that to me. And yet, it's like, well, I'm gonna have a brand new teeth, even though it's like so low tech. At least I don't need to brush my teeth anymore on the bottom.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, what a ride! And I heard about your rides from Soulogy and all that as
yeah,
well.
I won a free ride. Yeah, won a free ride to Texas, which was
Hmm.
totally divine intervention because it doesn't even make any sense. It was a complaint filed against me 6 years ago that wasn't true, but it doesn't matter. But it was a misdemeanor. So the the idea that they would extradite you for a misdemeanor is just, all the cops were like, we don't understand this. So there was actually, there was a higher reason for it. And again, a lot like what you're talking about now, I didn't go into fear, and I didn't go into sadness or anger. I just basically went into a meditative state, and as a result, I was shown all these incredible things. Right? Just I was
Hmm.
able to see from a much higher perspective, and it was actually a very worthy experience. So I think that's like your situation you're talking about, or that situation, uh, that we're, like you were saying, the purging and the expansion come in at one time. It's the same thing. It's
It
like the
is.
reality sets in, and then you because you have the right perspective, you receive the intel or the code or the experience that you're really looking for.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll try. It doesn't sometimes happen very smoothly, but
So, what do you do when it doesn't happen smoothly? Do you have a certain routine or something that you do that gets you out of it?
yeah, I slow down. I have
Yeah,
to slow down, close the shop, slow down. Yeah, deal with the emotion.
yeah,
Just listen and
yeah.
sometimes I just allow all the fear that comes up and allow myself to feel all of it, because part of me is resisting to even feel the fear, of the old fear. And just by choosing consciously to feel the fear or any kind of emotions, I just say, I'm choosing and intending to feel it, consciously.
Right.
And when I say that, then you don't become it, you don't
Right.
get involved or become the victim of whole
Right.
massive emotion that you feel. And then I just trust that it's, transmuting, transforming. So I just stay there and stay there for a little while, and then breathe, and then and start to feel lighter for me usually. And then sometimes I laugh after that. Like,
Well, that's one thing about you. You do laugh a lot. You do laugh a lot. That's so
mhm,
important, though. It's so important because you can't
mhm,
really fake a laugh, not a real
no,
laugh. You know.
no.
You know,
But
even like.
also, you can fake the laugh to shake it off.
Hmm,
So I do that, or sometimes I create my new in how do you say the words, the new word. I am something,
hmm,
new value. You bring your new identity into
hmm,
you and
hmm,
go or something like that with that
hmm,
whole, feeling all the new value and bring it in,
hmm.
and then smile after that. Always wait,
Man,
but
I can't even
practice.
think of how many times I cried in the last couple of 6 weeks, maybe. And
Yeah.
and and the more recent ones have been for no apparent reason, just the body releasing. You know, I was driving into work 3 or 4 days ago, and I just started crying, like just wailing. You know, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I thought, well, I'm not gonna be able to work today, but after about 5 minutes, everything just lifted. You know, and I got lighter, and I thought, oh, I guess that was just a release, just another type of purging, really.
Yeah, and it feels like, coming into the circle again. It's like a completing by just
Mm,
releasing that. Like,
mm,
oh, there's something there that just like came back in a bigger way and then settle in. And I was talking to my client today. I had a session. I gave the session, and she was just so amazing woman. But she was sharing with me that she lost her mom in the summertime, and she was very hard on her. Everything she speak was, to deny her.
yeah,
And so, that's really typical for us, most of the light workers, I guess.
right.
But now that she's in heaven, in the spirit world, and she can feel how much she was in pain,
Mm,
yet the pain was stopping her to really express the true love, but she really wanted to, but it
mm,
just came out wrong,
right.
but she did the best. And now she feels, the client, she feels her mother in the spirit world, and she feels love, so much love. And it's just, coming around the circle, like just releasing, and then it's like, oh, it's well, it was just love. It just, it came out in this chaotic way and that way, and it was ugly and hard, and but comes around to it. It's like, oh, back into this oneness in our hearts. So feels like, every moment of that these days, it's just like coming back to that, and then have this painful feeling, and then just like come back to that. It's like, bringing all the aspects within us. Yeah, but it's
Well,
a lot.
and you mentioned the circle too, the completion.
Mm,
Like that, in my experience, what we were talking about, I saw that the whole time.
mm,
Circle after circle after circle. My kids, the situation with the legal system,
mhm.
just different things over and over and over and over again, coming back to, yeah, like completing the circuit, going all the way around, and now you're starting it again, but you don't have all that stuff that completed within, the little completions within the big completion, right? They're all
Mhm,
at a different place, right?
mhm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then also, it's interesting about authority. You felt with the authority, policeman, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And this, from this year, since I have a gallery, I just decided to go everything legal again because I could be, not dealing with all the legal things like tax and stuff. But this year I decided to step in, and because I was holding the fear about getting into the system, and so I'm putting in myself with more awareness, and when I'm writing down the number and stuff, and I have this discomfort and fear that I'm gonna be controlled by them, I'm gonna be manipulated, or used and abused, my money is gonna go to the wrong place, all that things. And but I had a help feeling filing all the tax, and by free service, which they were so helpful. They discovered that I don't need to pay so much, and all the things, like, wow, I was just like having all this fear to make them all bigger than I am, and now I am kind of equal now.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's
And
something to be said for that. Like instead of yeah, like you're actively assisting to reconstruct it.
mm,
You know.
and more of us, who participate in with a full awareness, it will affect energetically, I'm sure.
Yeah, and two, like looking at that system and going, it's not right or wrong,
Hmm.
and I'm going to make my decision, and I'm going to be in a good place to do it. Now, one person may say I'm not going to participate,
Hmm.
but without a charge,
Hmm.
and you're participating without a charge.
Hmm.
But both of them are you know assisting or facilitating the from a collective standpoint the change or the transformation.
Right.
Yeah, very
Hmm.
cool. So have you? I know that you go out to the mountain at times, right?
Hmm.
Because I've been reading a lot about Mount Shasta,
Hmm.
and there's some things I didn't know about. And I remembered that story about that group that went to the mountain, found a cave, and saw your drawing.
Oh yeah.
And then they walked into your place and saw the same thing they saw in the cave.
Right.
One of the things that I saw was there was an expedition that went into, um, I guess, a big cave, a big opening, and found, and this is actually true. I mean, this is years ago, but where they actually found all this evidence of the civilization that had been there in physical form, I would assume, because they left gold, silver, and lots of other things.
Hmm.
But are you picking up anything from Telos, from the energy of the civilization that's associated with Shasta?
Well, not physically like that man who went to the Telos, and he actually, his interview is on Gaia now
Oh,
this week.
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
What?
under the interview with ED, I think ED.
Okay.
Interview with ED.
Here, I'm gonna write it down. I want to see that.
Yeah, type in Ruben Langdon.
Oh yeah,
Ruben.
Reuben Langdon. That's right. I remember the name now. Yeah.
If you type in, then you see all his series, and now it's in season 3.
Hmm.
And the man Lowell Johnson who went into the Telos is his interview is on the very recent one.
Right.
I think it came out this week.
And
Hmm.
it sounds like from what you were talking about, like with what's happening with the rents over there and the cost of living over there, it's very similar to Sedona. And I guess a
Right.
lot of people know about Sedona, where they had 12,000 population, and the Airbnbs came in and it dropped to 9,000. Um, so there seems to be like some kind of something occurring. It looks a little bit chaos, right? But I got to believe that a place like Shasta, a place like Sedona, through the etherical work and the embodiment that so many people like you have, that we'll start to see some changes in these communities. Do you see anything like that happening?
Well, of course, because we are all letting go the fear. So you can't really hold on to the fear anymore. They're gonna get sick, or they're not gonna be very happy.
Yeah.
So it will naturally happen. But since we're humanness is so stubborn sometimes. and we have to learn from the hard way. And so, I don't see like sudden shift or anything
Right,
in
right.
that, but I can see like I told you, this lady who came in, old lady, like, oh my gosh, I have never felt this hard time,
Wow.
since I moved here, so that really tells like how much impact the new energy is, giving us to shift and change or let go. And as far as the mountain goes, the Lemurians, they're fifth dimension and
Right,
above. It's more like we have to just let go more stuff in order to match up their frequency.
right.
For me personally, to be in touch with them is through music. Um, when I sing, so um, I used to play a lot of flute, and I still do love. Um, but I felt like we are the instrument.
Right.
Not let the instrument play you. Like there are a lot of crystal ball healers and stuff, and personally, I don't really. Mm, well, it's okay, but
I
I
get what
like
you're
to.
saying. Yeah. You're not
Yeah,
saying anything about them. You're just saying for you on a personal level, it's come down to your voicing.
yeah.
Right.
We are the instrument. We are the vibration. So when I do that, then I can feel that's when we really step into our truth, and that's when they can match up and merge with us.
Wow.
It
That's
doesn't need to be physical, like you go visit them or something, but we create this dimensional connection through being who we really are,
yeah.
and you don't need to be anywhere or do anything really, but just stepping into that frequency, and then they're right there for you. That's what I feel.
Mm, yeah. That makes sense. That really makes sense. Even if we can't sense them,
Hmm.
like the more we step into our power, the more of our aspects or soul family or however you want to say it comes to us or comes with us or
Hmm.
is able to collaborate with us or expand us or however you want to put it. It makes a lot of
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, and it's really up to us. Hmm.
So the the singing that you're doing now
Hmm.
more than than you had been, is it stuff that you write? Is it like light language song? Is it or is it do you think about it or you just do it and it just comes out?
Yeah, just do it and comes out.
Wow, that's very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's like a flute, Native American flute too.
yeah.
Um, like traditionally, I was told that the flute was used to share your love to the lover. The
Mm,
girlfriend. Usually, it was a girlfriend in the past, I guess. And so it's come from the heart. So I think training with the flute for me was very valuable, and
mm,
so I can do the same. Just like talking, we're talking whatever it comes to our
right.
mind, or whatever we feel desire to talk, and it's just like that, but just the sound, just like your poetry, and
Mm.
you use more of your brain.
Right. It's well, we've been doing these sound. We call it Soulogy Sedona sound healing sessions. We've been
Hmm.
doing them since beginning of July when I've been here, and so I always read my words or sing my words. But Ty told me, no, you can't keep doing that. And I always say on the show, like this because you've been on many times. We don't meet. We don't talk about what we're going to talk about beforehand. We just
Right.
let it be spontaneous. So that's what we did last night for an hour and a half, and it was pretty amazing. I just listened to a little bit of it right now before we left, but it was a little bit difficult in the first 20 minutes or so. But
Hmm.
once you just keep going and you don't, well, what the heck? I'll just go for it. But there's
Hmm.
something that happens. I mean, we were talking about it last night. It's like you're between intuition and conscious thought. It's like you're in a space that's you can't really describe,
Hmm.
and then you get done and you're like, what did I say? You know,
Hmm.
like
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah. But now,
Yeah,
were you singing before you started this phase? Had you been singing before?
I always like to sing, but not really in public like that. And also the way that I sing just I just would like to sing the Christmas song, for example, during the
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But to really feel another dimension, or angels. I like to connect with angels and Lemurians. It's easier for me. So then it just kind of flows and
Wow.
create the vibration. And but I didn't know. Just people you know told me like, you sound like angels, or my heart feels warm.
Right.
That all the reflection that I received, that encouraged me to keep on going and
Wow.
to experiment.
Yeah,
Experiment,
exactly.
right?
Because
Yeah.
what, right? I mean,
Right.
like, what's this life we're doing here, right? It's an
Mhm.
experience.
Right.
Experience, experiment,
And,
same root
mhm.
word. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, play. That's really important.
it is important. Play, laugh.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very
Mhm.
important.
Yeah, and being in a grown up situation, we just forgot that so much. We just became so serious, and yeah, and lots of trauma and things like that build up to close up ourselves. And
Mm.
now we all are encouraging, you are encouraging me to peel my layers so much, like compared to the first time you talked to me.
Mm.
I was trembling because I was
Mm.
so nervous.
Mm. I remember that.
And
That was beautiful. I still watch that from time to time.
oh
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
so when you sing, do you use any music behind you, or you just do it on your own?
I do it on my own, and I also use looper.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
And
have it? Do you have it with you?
yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
I
cool.
can play for a little while too.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
We'll have to do that if you're up to it.
Oh yeah, I mean live together.
Well, you can do it. I mean, maybe
Oh,
I'll
I can do it.
maybe I'll
Yeah,
do something with
I
you,
can
but
do it. Yeah, I can play for like 10 minutes or something.
yeah, that's cool. That'd be
Okay,
great.
I can
Here,
do like
I'm
one looper, one singing.
I'm
Some,
gonna put you on the big screen.
I'm gonna use the mic too.
Oh yeah, there you go. You're all
Yeah.
set up.
Yes, I was thinking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I know that so much is happening within us and outside, and but there's an infinite, quiet, peaceful space. That's where we want to go, because that's where we are really. And so, well,
I've never heard you do that. That's amazing. I look for your videos. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you do that. I must have
Oh,
missed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps it's there. You
I
can
was
find it on YouTube or Facebook if you
Yeah, I was
scroll.
downloading videos today to play on the Daily Show. You know, just different things that people do. So I'll go. I used to play yours, but
Yeah,
I just started doing it again. So I will go to your YouTube or your Facebook and download some so we can play them every day. We're trying to do a daily show for a couple of hours and play different people's, videos. And
Mm-hmm.
God, that's just like I don't even know what to say. Adam said, "Beautiful is an understatement. Peace to my core." Yeah, I mean, that's just like that's amazing. I would have never. I never thought about it, but I mean, your flute playing is incredible, but your voice is just even without the flute, it just takes it to another level. Look at these comments; they're just
Oh,
amazing.
oh,
So,
thank you.
so you found this part of you as you have been going through, like everybody else, all the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and
And that keep showing up, right?
yeah,
Keep
yeah.
doing it.
Wow. I mean, I feel like I want to cry. This is like crazy. But yeah, I've been really understanding that like I can stay home and lay in bed and go through all the stuff we're going through, or I can try to create something new. And it may not change the way I feel, right? But it can, and it does often. It did last night. I mean, I purged
Mm-hmm.
for 3 straight days, hardcore. I do this hour and a half session with Ty last night where we let go and just something happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't purge last night. So maybe there is a relationship between.
I feel that way too. Like, when I create, I am connected to my true self, or like connecting to the different dimensions because we are multi-dimensional beings.
Right.
You know, so it's just sometimes we shut ourselves off from being feeling so hard. The hard emotions and negative.
Yeah.
All that discomfort. And for me, I'm not always like this, but there's a time like I need to just create this. I need
Yeah.
to. So when we channel into the creativity, or some people do cooking, some
Mm.
people do dancing,
Right.
and I think that's how we really channel that creative flow. This new energy as well, and make it more practical. In a way than just doing the purging all the time because it's not fun. You know.
That's right. It's not. Hang on one second. We have a some. No.
Well, while Todd is away, I'll play another flute. Oh, he's back.
Sorry. The door was open and people kept walking in because they're going to another place for a group meditation. Like 5 people walked in.
Oh, okay,
So I just want
great.
to lock. I just want to lock the door. Yeah, I just think that we spend so much time working on shadows and um, zero pointing, and spending time with all our perceived deficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that that's necessarily going to go away. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten to where we do things faster and it doesn't take us down for so long. But I'm just a big believer of doing something creative
Mm-hmm.
that basically, well, like sound healing. It's resonant sound healing. And when it comes
Mm-hmm.
and when your voice is involved, or even something that you're doing or dancing or whatever, and you're actually doing it, it's healing. It actually, I believe, clears shadow and
Mm-hmm.
clears illusion and clears prejudices and biases and grudges and resentments and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel so. And more we, bring that joy into the process of what we're doing.
Hmm.
I think it's much easier. And I was gonna say something and I forgot.
I
But
do that all the time in front of everybody. Mid sentence, I'm like, what? But it's all
yeah,
right.
but yeah, definitely. Yeah. Uh, oh, yeah, and then also, we are our own healer.
Yeah,
So, for example, if you can sing to yourself,
yeah,
like when you can't really sleep, create your own lullaby with your own voice.
Oh, that's
You know,
sweet.
sing yourself into the heart like a baby, and then sing to you, and then record that, and then listen to that, and it's so healing.
Yeah.
And we are our own healer. So what we do, what we express, and then we listen. Sometimes we watch ourselves on video, and then self love, you
Mm-hmm.
know, grows sometimes, and so it's like, really, why don't we just utilize that self healing ability that we
Yeah.
through music or dance or cooking, you give yourself the energy into the food and now you intake it. It's like we have this ability. Why don't we create that more and more?
Yeah.
I think that's a really good thing to do. Hmm.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Hmm.
That would be my preference to doing shadow work. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
if there's shadow in the field, I mean, it's in all of our fields. Let's just say, and it's in our, in our frequency makeup. It would
Hmm.
only make sense to me that doing something like that, because I've experienced it. I experienced it last night. I've experienced it many times, and I'm not accomplished to the level you are, but I definitely
No, I'm
uh,
sorry.
have had
No.
I've had these moments where they're breakthroughs, and you're right.
Mhm.
Your self love just goes through the roof. It doesn't even care what you don't even care what people think. It's
Mhm.
nice if they like it, but it's you do it
Mhm.
for yourself. You do it for
Yeah, it is
yourself.
for ourselves. Yeah, I feel that way. I mean, everything I have done, even these drawings, I did it because it was just fun for me
Right.
and it was feeding my soul. And I created this gallery space because it was feeding my soul.
Yeah.
And also, I needed to anchor my frequency somewhere so I can feel home during this crazy
Mm,
time. And whatever I did, it's serving others, ultimately, you know. And
that
so,
that's true.
yeah, so, hmm.
That's true. Even if you're in your uh, establishment or your house by yourself, because it's frequency. So even if
Hmm.
nobody sees it, they're
Hmm.
still gonna get that frequency going out there,
True.
and see and it sticks with you too. Because look, the Till Express. Thank you. She said, "So glad to be here live. I was inspired by her paintings I saw in the first interview." And see, I still remember the first interview because
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget the rabbit universe, the fluffy rabbit universe. Like I never even seen anything like what you do, and then to actually hear how it happened, I felt like I was like I was there or something. I can't really explain it. Um, so
Yeah, it's
you,
there's a frequency that emanate from the drawings and then create this space of multidimensional space. And it's healing, for me too, and whenever I have the moment and I come here and like it's like a shower, just wash it
yeah,
away.
yeah,
And I had one person told me yesterday, she said she passed by my store all the time. Every time she passed by, she feels really good. I'm like, wow, that's really wonderful. And um, and then these days I've been really amplifying my space by sound,
right,
because sound, and the art and energy of the art really amplify each other. And so, some people who are sensitive, they walk in and they just start crying right there at the door. And I've seen that so many times. And that's the power that we all have, by our presence and what we you know what we create out of our heart, whatever that is. Even we don't need to create it, we just walk on the street and then one person on the street will feel better after you passing
yeah.
by that person. It is we have that power, you know
It's
and of course
true.
we have to do ourselves first, but
It's
it's,
it's true. I mean, look at like Alma. You know
mm,
Alma. I
yeah.
mean, it's the same thing. Like, right? I mean, I don't know what she does, or maybe she was born with it, or whatever. But just being in that presence, just being in her area, it affects people. So,
Right.
like, I can see where like you're making music inside of that portal that you've created with all your art, and that's a huge thing. Like I've been on that street where your shop is, and it's got to be emanating out into the streets of Mount Shasta. It has to be.
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh, I know it is. I know it is. Yeah. Orlando was saying he's talking about Z. You know Z from New Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She uses the looper, but and I've had her on a couple of times. She's very good. But yours is very different. Yours is kind of like the Rabbit universe. It's all soft and fluffy, you know. It's like
Yeah.
angelic. It's angelic, like that person
Mhm.
told you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know, people just tell me, oh, it was just very angelic. And I just didn't know. But, I think we are really discovering what we really have within us.
Yeah.
There's so much treasure within us.
Yeah.
And once we allow more and more into our expression of who we truly are, then, we're going to amaze ourselves how much power we have. And
Yes.
you know, once we put our heart together and,
Yes.
we're just awakening into that power. And that's why we're purging so much. And that's why this opposite side is trying to, put us down in a way. It's like all these things happening, but it's it, within this chaos, only the love can, blossom.
That's
That's why
right.
we're
They don't have a chance. Whoever they
yeah.
are, they can't. We can't be stopped at this point.
No, there's
We,
no way because Mother Earth is choosing her way, and we
mm-hmm.
have to follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Or we can leave the planet and go to another one, learn our lessons there. But I'd rather do it here. I don't want to go anywhere.
yeah,
Um, yeah. Yeah. How beautiful. Wow. I hope to get up there. Uh,
yeah. So before we end, if you have time, I want to show one drawing I
yes.
was going to
Yeah. I
share.
wasn't. Yeah. I was just gonna tell you. Yeah.
It's
Show
not
us.
new, but I felt like today was the day to share more of this, like people to anchor their empowerment and putting into the expression because Huang and Ashley was talking about it, and it's really about bringing the voice of the wisdom, especially the divine feminine.
Yeah.
And let's see,
I remember this one.
yeah,
I remember this one.
yeah.
So,
I just felt like sharing this one today.
wow.
So it has the energy of Mary Magdalene and Yahshua in a in a good balanced harmonious way, supported by the angelic and
That's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, it feels very angelic.
mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. I can feel it in my chest.
Mm.
Oh, that's the galactivation room. I've been in there.
Yeah.
That
Mm.
place is wild. Oh
Mm, it
wow,
is.
what is that? Are you doing a painting with? What is that?
Oh no, that's a tapestry. I didn't do that
Oh, I
one.
was gonna say I've never seen you do anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
I
like
like
you.
it. So I'd
Yeah.
like to add some color. So. Mhm.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping to get up there.
Yeah.
I had, looked into it, and then I decided, you know, in the spring would be better, or before summer hits. Not rather than go over there and try to do something when it's cold. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, actually found a place that we could do something. It doesn't hold a lot of people, like
Mhm.
maybe 35, 40 people. But
Okay.
yeah, I'd like to collaborate with you and, even online because now we got the big studio and we've got it set up to where, well, not like this,
Mhm.
where we can actually bring in other people and you get better than studio sound. And yeah,
Wow.
so Ty's been working on that, and it sounds
Amazing.
really good. So yeah, we'll be able to do some things with people where they're playing music or singing, and it'll sound it'll sound perfect. There won't be any voice cutting out or anything like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, you're just doing amazing work. You're so courageous, and I just admire you so much.
Hmm.
So thank
Well,
you
I
so
love
much.
you. I admire you. Yeah, I can't wait to see you again in person and and do something crazy and try to make some different music or whatever.
All right.
You
I'm
know,
gonna shed more stuff so I can come out.
me too. I'm shedding too. I just hope I don't have to purge again like I did 3 of the last 4 nights. But yeah, I'd love to. Next time, I'll get brave and I'll do something with you next time. I'll
I
sing
think
next
it's
time.
all mutual. I think it's naturally happening.
Yeah, I do. I do too. It's very organic, and that's a beautiful thing. You know.
Yeah, and I think the joy is gonna just, just take care of everything, just be in joy and play,
Mm,
like a child again.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's
much.
good seeing you again. And I'll see you soon. Okay.
Hmm. Thank
All right.
you.
Take care. All right.
You too. Much
Oh,
love.
all right.